and she's nice as provided me with the bio, so I'm going to actually refer to this. Angie Gann is an avid, successful thinker and success coach. She has inspired, motivated, mentored, encouraged, and empowered countless individuals and business professionals to personal, spiritual, and business success. And I love this part, in alignment with their mission, purpose, passion, and reason for doing what they do. She has accomplished things locally, nationally, and internationally. After committing herself wholeheartedly to successfully raising her oldest developmentally disabled daughter, who's now 30, and still living at home, as well as 2 other children who are both uniquely gifted individuals, she's now available to do in her own life what she's supported many others in doing by taking her own life to the next level. She's got a great story to tell you about. She's currently founding several unique businesses in this economy, and one of them is an international business connected to His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama and his Tibetan monks. And another is offering an exciting 90-day transformational weight loss program she mentioned. And she's also been going through some really unique personal challenges. I know she's probably going to speak about that. She provides a wealth of wisdom and open-minded experience, unique insight and perspective, more to those who have grown through many of life's most challenging circumstances on her life. As our guest speaker today, she is going to share with us the spirit of success, connecting with heart. She's going to guide us through an interactive worksheet to facilitate the custom creation of our own personal and professional mission or intention statement, coaching us forward in our own personal and professional lives. Perfect timing for me, something I worked on this evening, so I'm really looking forward to taking that to the next level. Please welcome Angie Gann.
That's fabulous because my grandson thinks are all clapping for him. I'm Angie Gann. I'm here to talk to you today about the spirit of success, connecting with heart. When I was, pardon me? Yeah. Oh, okay.
Just make sure you're talking loud.
I will try on the voice. I'll explain why that's a challenge in a minute. I'll do my best. When I was putting together what I wanted to speak about when I was speaking in Successful Thinkers rooms, attending all of the different meetings that I go to, there's a wealth of information, social media, the kind of what I call the hard drive of successful thinkers. You've got high tech, which is means high touch. I'm merging the 2 of those. There are a lot of speakers that go around that talk about the high tech part of it. Gurus, fabulous, geniuses, and that kind of stuff, which I need to learn a whole lot about. But there's the other half of successful thinkers, which is what I would call the heart of successful thinkers, or what I've come to think of as the soft side of successful thinkers. Because I call it soft, do not underestimate the power of the soft side of successful thinkers, which is the connecting with one-on-one. I had an interview with Jim Melas and was asking him, I said, Jim, I see all the social media, fabulous. I get that, incredible. It's how it's growing viral. It's how so many of us are learning and growing in our own personal and professional lives through social media, through those venues. But what was in your heart and soul when you originally came up and envisioned successful thinkers? Obviously, there's other networking groups out there. There are Chamber of Commerce. There's those things. What was your idea with successful thinkers? Where did you want to go with that? And we said, Angie, it was the connection, the true connecting of individuals coming together, not where you're coming up to share with one another what you do. A lot of us can be very comfortable hiding behind what we do. That can become a suit we get up in the morning. Yay, I'm gonna go to Chamber of Commerce today. I'm gonna go to this meeting, that meeting. I'm gonna put on what I do. What do we do when we put something on? We're wrapping that around us. We're hiding who we are behind what we do. For some of us, we aren't even connected our own self with who we are. How could we go share that with somebody else? We put on what we do, we go out in the world. Not what we're looking for. I want to know who people are. I want to get to know, like, and trust the people that I'm going to do business with, the people that are going to become family to me. And my successful thinker ventures, I have so much family today, unbelievable. Elias right here from the area, nothing this man would not do for me, not a thing at all. In fact, one thing he is going to do today, I need to learn how to do an event page. This guy's a genius at that. He has his laptop with me after the meeting. He's going to sit down and show me He lives in the Bay Area. He's going to take his time here today to show me how to do that. How can I help you grow forward? That man is all about it. He has helped me directions coming over to this part of the world over there. Overwhelms the heck out. I was 680 to 880 to 92 to, oh my God, I'm like, are you kidding me?
Thanks, Angie.
But he gave me the directions so perfectly because he's an expert at that area. Even with all of that, flawlessly drove through all of these interchanges, all of these connections. It would have taken me hours on my own to struggle through. Those are the connections that you can make as successful thinkers. A lot of where the economy got today, especially through the real estate market, got that way from too many people doing business with people that they didn't know. They didn't know anything about what is this person's personal integrity. I can comfortably do real estate business with her because I know her. I've sat down and gotten to know her. I've got to know her level of integrity. I can comfortably do a business transaction with her. Unfortunately, we bought our first home. I didn't do it that way. A lot of us didn't do it that way. A lot of us are in the boat we're in today. It's about coming back around to going to setting up the one-on-ones. How many other people do we have today? Is it just you or? So you're also familiar with the one-on-ones, which is kind of the what I think of as a hard successful leaders, where you sit down, schedule a one-on-one. Hi Rick, I'm Angie Gann. I'd like to get a little more about who you are. We're going to take some time to sit down, maybe here, maybe outside of here, to get to know one another, to truly connect. I actually do know Rick for a long time, and I do know, like, and trust Rick, but absolutely refer him. But if I did not, by the time we were done, we would be building a genuine relationship. I wouldn't even necessarily know what he does. In fact, how many people in this room, until now, as much as I go around, very few people even know what I do, because I don't talk about that. I get to know who they are. I find out what they've got going on. How can I help them move forward? You as successful thinkers. It's about showing up and allowing yourself to genuinely, authentically, not wrapping yourself in what you do, but taking that off and holding it up over here and saying, so right now, for this next half hour or hour that we're going to be talking, I'm going to have the courage to reveal to you a little bit about who I really am. I would love to reach you at that same place. I love people. I travel all over the state, meeting wonderful people and successful thinkers. The connections you can make when you show up from a genuine, authentic place, without attachment, without agenda, without the intention of, I'm going to go in here and there's how many people are in this room? 20, 25 people. Excellent. That's 25 things I got. I'm going to tear it up. I'm going to get these business cards. I'm going to get home tonight. I'm going to lock them in. I'm going to start hitting them up. That's not what it's about, not what we do. I have never been approached that way in all of the successful people I go to. It's genuinely, and yeah, nice to meet you. What is it that you do in the world?
The biggest thing I do is not mom.
Fabulous.
That is my heart.
Fabulous. So look what she did. She just went right to her heart. Actually, she didn't even tell me what she did, although I asked her what she did. She showed me a little bit about who she is. That says a whole lot about, how long did that take? About 2.5 seconds. And 2.5 seconds. I know more about this person than you would in many transactions out in the world. People don't genuinely reveal themselves that way. They've got a venue to do it. The opportunities that can come to you, no intention, no agenda moving in that direction, because you are showing up from authenticity. The power of the connections that can happen and the places that can take someone, unbelievable. And I've got a couple of examples today. Can you do? He's very handy. Before I get to that, I'm going to talk to you briefly because I'm kind of combining two talks here. I had done a Beth's group and some others, what we will get to by the end of the meeting, creating your own personal, clear, concise, whether it's personal in your own life or professional business, mission, intention statement. A lot of people set their mission. Actually, I'm stunned at how many people set out to do business and don't even do that. They've got whatever it is they're going to do. Of course, you've got a general idea of what that's going to look like, but you don't have the roadmap. you haven't sat down yet with your own self. Why am I doing what I'm doing? And further back, and looking at a lot of us right now are reconstructing entirely what we're doing. Or maybe we've been doing what we've been doing for a long time, but the economy has changed so much, we're having to completely recreate and reconstruct within that a whole new approach. It is not the same business world that it was even a year ago, 5 years ago. Entirely different realities from a decade ago. To sit down with yourself and who and where am I today? First of all, let's not even get to what I'm going to do in the world. Who and where am I today? We've all grown hugely through, we've all had a lot of tough times. People have lost homes, people have lost businesses, people have lost empires. $1 million empires for which they have their self-identity attached, wrapped up to. You get that ripped away, then you get the home ripped away, then you get the cars ripped away. Unfortunately, for a lot of those people, then the spouse goes with the financial pressures. All gone. All these things that most people identify themselves with, gone. Wow. Now who are you? Now what have you got? A lot of people have been so busy in the rat race to get there, to build that multi-million-dollar empire, to buy that home, to keep up with that car. They never took the time to sit down and even check in with, who am I? What is my purpose? What is my purpose for being here? What are my passions? What are my passions? What makes me feel alive? What makes me feel juicy? What excites me to get up in the morning and go out and do? Even I get to go, and Jason, I get to go out and not only earn a living, we all have to earn a living, but not coming from the place of that. It's what I call remembering to get yourself when you're looking at what it is you're going to do. Obviously, we all have to earn a living. We all know that. It's a very different approach when someone comes to you who has that hunger burning in them. They're so caught up in the earning the living part that they will consume you. They don't care. You're just a means to an end. You're not a connection. You're out here being a person. You are, I need to make this much money to feed myself, keep a roof over my head. This person probably has some money in her pocket. I will find out how I can get to that money. It's a very different thing than when you sit down and go, what are my passions? What are my unique abilities, talents, traits, God-given, regardless of who your God is or how you relate to that, God-given, what are those? And it's interesting, up until more recent times, how few people, what they did in the world, how out of alignment, for a lot of people, that is who they really were. It's like they'd have their work world and then they'd go home and do themselves. Why would you do that? Why would you do that if you're robbing the other individuals of the opportunity to get to know who you really are? So we'll look at some of those passions in a minute. And then the third question, asking yourself, what is my reason for being here now, right now? The world is changing dramatically. The economy is changing. Everything is changing. I have this little belief system in my mind that every one of us in this room and every one of us on this planet right now have some role to play in that. Some role to play in that. When you come from a heart-based place, you're opening the door for that person to come to you from there. A few weeks back I was in Colorado with Don McGill-Ruiz, the author of The Four Agreements. The most beautiful soul you will ever meet. Man, incredible. Daniel Gutierrez, who was living in a world transformation right. Thinking globally. How do we, not borders, not boundaries, not states, how do we transcend all of that, come together, take responsibility for what's going on around the planet, and move forward? They were talking about a new business model that is spontaneously occurring, heart-based business, just what I'm talking about, where you don't have cooperation, not cooperation, the competition, the competitive thing, where everyone that I meet are like a lot of groups. We can't have two different people from the same thing because that's competition. Where is the competition? Who are the two ladies that do Mary Kay? Could you both stand up for a moment? Just stand up.
Glad we made you come. You just on the floor.
Let's look at these two beautiful women. They both do the same thing, but how incredibly unique are the two of them? Obviously, they're doing the same, you can sit face to face. Obviously, they're doing the same business. They're doing the same thing. But who they are and what each of them bring to that, fabulously unique. Each one of them a necessary part to building a business community and where it's transcended all of that dog eat dog. I'm gonna tear you up to climb up to my place in the ladder, so if I get there, sorry you're down there, but hey, be up here. All that is changing. The place was coming together and finding commonalities, finding where you can sit down with one-on-ones, and I can ask Wendy, Wendy's going through a transition in her life right now. We all are somewhere, but Wendy's the one that mentioned it today, so I can sit down with her. Wow, what's new in your world, Wendy? How can I help you go forward from here? Because I love her. She's a fabulous Wendy. Helped me get my business card while she was over there. Took care of that. There's nothing I wouldn't do to help Wendy go forward in our community. There's nothing any of us around this table would do. There's nothing Gary wouldn't do for someone. Coach, who's supposed to be here, I'm gonna harass him about that.
Called me and told me that he might not be able to go.
That's amazing. Nothing that man would not do. And what he contributes to the community, endless, the different levels of, because he shows up in heart. He shows up in authenticity. Showing up in heart. I gotta share this. This is my Wonder Woman box, my Wonder Woman lunch pail. I would not own this Wonder Woman lunch pail if it wasn't for Elias over there, who somehow found it in his heart to dub me the Wonder Woman of Successful Thinkers. Joking about it online that day, and that night I went to a restaurant in downtown Placerville next to that old time campus store. If you guys haven't been in there, you gotta go check that place out. They have got old school stuff, your childhood stuff you haven't even thought of. You'll walk around and go, I remember this. It's such a nostalgic trip back in time. It's fabulous. But saw the Wonder Woman lunch pail, I was like, I gotta have that. What is in this Wonder Woman lunch pail?
Isn't that awesome?
Robert Velarde would recognize my happy heart. And the reason I have this, and there's a long story behind it, but I'm going to tell you. From the place of genuinely showing up in your authenticity, without agenda, without attachment, sharing with people the love in your heart, which Coach just talked last week about, having the courage to say, wow, Gary, I really love you. I don't care who hears that. I don't care what they think about it. To share that when you're feeling it in the moment. Robert Velarde, wonderful guy, one of my Facebook pals. Him and I are, Elias is doing a good job keeping up. We'll be on Facebook, connecting back and forth, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. At that point, we're both rummy, we're both giddy, we're both laughing, we're both getting silly. Have a great time, it's fabulous. And one night I was on there, and somebody had sent, I saw somewhere a picture of this happy guy on the beach. Just this big, round, yellow, happy, smiley face on the beach. And I went, that's Robert Velarde. So I sent that to him. I said, hey, Robert, just thinking of you, Mr. Happy, right here. Said something about, that I really value and appreciate our friendship and you being in my life. Just thinking of you, wanted you to know. Sent that to him. A few days pass. Suddenly, this thing comes up on the computer. A happy thank you. It's a big yellow smiley face. Have any of you got a happy thank you from Robert Velarde or seen it on Facebook? This is where it came from. And he sent me a happy thank you. He's like, thank you, Angie Gann, for sharing your feelings for me. He was inspired to create that entire community around just my reaching out and sharing a genuine gratitude and appreciation for him being in my life. He created a community called I Happy Thank You that you can send out to someone else when you think of them, and it's got the big smiley face. Somebody's done a great job, somebody just got certified, somebody's transitioning in their life, and they're standing up and facing it well, suiting up and showing up, seeing what's coming up next in life. Met somebody new at Successful Thinkers. Hey, it was great to talk to you today. Push one button, send it, fabulous thought. It came about just simply from daring to authentically share. Hey, loving you, man. Just wanted to let you know. So what San Jose opened, I found these at a gas station. Is Happy Heart, Mr. Happy. That man exemplifies what I'm talking about. Had to get that for him, gave it to him in Foster City. So we both got our happy little heart. Things like that, you never know when it's in you to connect with someone, what it might mean to that person. It might seem trivial and insignificant to you. Okay, it seems here, I'm going to say it. It took me 2 seconds to do that. Obviously, the effect on him in that moment was much more profound and significant than I could have imagined. One of my businesses came about exactly that way. I was in November, a very violent car accident. My husband and I, near fatal, should not be standing in front of you at all. I was left initially paralyzed 6 months ago from the waist down. That's why this photo. How many of you are my friend on Facebook? How many of you recognize this photo? Anybody that's been on Facebook knows this photo. And I haven't changed it, and I won't change it for a while. This is one of my greatest triumphs, right? Anybody tell me what I'm doing in this photo? What am I doing? Standing. On my legs, alone, unassisted. This is one of the first moments after I regained the ability to do that this photo was taken. We stand all day long. We sit all day long. We walk around all day long up until we don't. You lose that ability, even for a minute. Some of us have back issues, have whatever we've had. You understand, if you ever get this moment back, just to do this, just that much. Very powerful. You have experiences like that. Left me with a broken back, a broken neck that I'm walking right now, head injury. Elias just became aware of that actually just a couple days ago, and when I shared with him, he was like, wow.
You put it out there.
I've known you all this time. I never know you had anything going on. He said, you must have had an amazing recovery. The answer to that is, I'm still very much in that recovery. And it has been Successful Thinkers that has been my recovery system. It's where you, regardless of what you've got going on personally, I can sit there and see myself as a victim. Someone who's paralyzed, someone who's got a broken back, who's got a broken neck, who's got a brain injury, don't expect me to come to me. I can let those be my reasons to fail in life. Or transcend those, take a step above, and let those be my reasons to succeed. To get out there and to set myself aside, and I'm pain all the time. My brain not functioning all the time. Not where I'm used to having it available. But can I still talk? Can I still stand? One of the 4 agreements down the hill, or was it? One of the agreements is to always do the best. But he puts the caveat in there knowing that, understanding that sometimes your best is going to be the best. Still recovering from that accident 2 nights ago, sitting in a parking lot, parked car, waiting for my husband. Someone got into my car, hit me again. Whiplash my body all around. That's why I can't project that loud. My neck is broken, that's my larynx. Very difficult to talk at all, let alone project, so doing my best. That could have been a reason to say, wow, you know what, I know I'm on your schedule, I know you got people coming, can't do it. Not going to be where I would have been had it happened to me before. I had rocked it. Or I could suit up and show up and say, okay, I'm still going to show up and do my best. I'm 115%. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. My best might be a little different today than it might have been had we had this talk a week ago before all that happened. But you suit up and show up and you do it. Moving through how much time another opportunity that came my way into this sheet here. From genuinely, authentically, when I was sitting there, an experience like that, well, you will sit and ask yourself, what is my purpose? You really begin to look at, why did I walk out of that class? I didn't walk out of that car. I have no idea trying to get out of that car and away from someone who was pouring gasoline upside down in the wrong lane of traffic on around the corner, and someone was going to come around any moment. That car pouring gas in its mode, had to get away from the car. I had no idea when I went to get to my feet to move. Why are my feet not working? All right, I'll crawl. Try to get to my knees. Why are my knees not working? Didn't have time to worry about it. My arms are working. And I said, man, pulled my body down the ditch to get away from that car. That is part of the spirit of success. That spirit inside of you that says, okay, this is what I got going on. I can choose to sit right here in this car, wait for that other car to come around, this can be over in about 30 seconds. Or I can realize I've got a purpose. I've got a reason for being here. what am I here to do? What am I here to contribute? Transcend the moment and move on. That was my choice, really reflecting, why am I still here? What am I here to do? I'm going to find that out looking into my passion, what makes me feel juicy and alive, what inspires me to get up in the morning. It's been successful thinkers for a lot of months. That's been my reason to get up off the couch. I keep these legs moving because I understand a body of motion stays in motion. A body at rest will stay at rest. Not an option. Too much going on. As I began, one of my passions, one of my immediate passions I could do in that moment was my photography, love my spirituality. I had learned that the Tibetan monks were in town. Perfect opportunity to combine my passion of photography with spirituality. A very rare, unique opportunity. Right here in my backyard in Placerville. Are you kidding me? You showed up, you know, taking photos, made a fabulous connection with people. Had no intention, just photographing. It has since turned into what has become an international business. Art gallery quality photography. They'll be the initial subjects of Tibetan monks. In alignment with the Dalai Lama, which has also been extended into an invitation. I'll be going to India in January or February of 2012 at his personal invitation to teach me their Buddhism, their entire faith, their culture. You want to teach that to me? Free of charge. I pay for Americans to get there and back. We take care of all your needs. We educate you. In exchange for, they're very interested in global interfaith dialogue. So they want to learn from me, from my spirituality, from a Western perspective as they're traveling the world, kind of wanting to understand where we're coming from. An international business, who knows where that will go, that will do our proceeds will go back to them and all of the people they support, all the donation all over, and what they earn traveling on their world peace tour. I sat down and made this is my mission intention statement in alignment with that particular business and the vision that God gave me that went around with all of that. Very sweet. Beth asked me when I shared that in Jackson, she said, well, you're not quite over there yet. How is that serving you now? What are you getting out of that now? I said, well, what's that? This right here, if I read that, a mighty big mission. Very big. Way up here. It's really easy from right here to look at that and go, wow. Wow. Who am I to do that? Who am I to be interacting with the Dalai Lama? Who am I to be sharing that education and knowledge? There will be lots of people around. I'll get it. Starting Mary Kay, you know? We've all got somebody that's like, oh wow, really? Do that. What do you think you're going to get out of that? Sometimes it's the people closest to us who we need to be the most in alignment with us to encourage us to get out there and do that thing that's new. That might be terrifying to us. However, making a phone call, how horrifying is that to some people? When you've got your reasons why you're doing it, you're in alignment with your own purpose, your own passions, and you really have thought, you know, your reason for still being here now, you can come back to this. I've got this frame, it sits up right next to my computer screen. At any moment that I start to falter, that I start to get a little small, that I get intimidated, overwhelmed, it's right there. I can literally, my monitor's there, I turn right to the left, there it is. And it reminds me, okay, there is a reason. And there's a reason bigger than me. That's the other part of it. Much bigger than you about why you're doing this. It gives me that to connect to. When you can just connect to me, I can't get there for myself. Alright, I'm trying to get there for the world. That I can do 110% until I can do it for me again with confidence. I'm going to pass these around. I know you guys are eating. You kind of look over. You can take them home with you if you would like. Yeah. Take one cousin straight down. I'll just so the first one on here, I feel that my purpose in life is, I'm going to give you guys a freebie on this one. The purpose in life, very simple. My purpose in life when I crawled out of that car and the last 6 months that I have moved forward from was simply that, to live it. to be alive. I am still alive. You are still alive. We have all overcome challenges within your chain there. I'm going to give you a freebie on that one. Your purpose in life is probably going to be dialed in somewhere right there. Just the living, the fact that you've got the gift of life. You've got a body that still functions. You've got a brain that still functions. It comes up with amazing, creative, innovative ideas in a time that everything is changing. Opportunity is phenomenal. I feel passionate about it. What do you feel passionate about? What excites you? And if it's a business that may not be in alignment with that, how can you connect those with that so that you can go out with passion regardless of what it is you're doing? If you haven't really discovered your passions, you can find that out, ask the next 3 questions. 3 of my unique, where am I different from everybody else? 3 of my unique gifts, talents, and abilities are, if you can't name 3, you can name 3. If you can't give me a call, I'll tell you 3 about you. And once you discover what those are, find a way to work those into your world with your passions. That's what ignites you and excites you. You're going to be able to step out into that. And what my reason for being here now be. I'm going to tell you one last story that I got from Don And he stood up there and he talked about race that happened at one point in time. Epic race. Millions came out to compete at this race, each one of them with their own potential, their own ideas, their own direction where they would take life. Millions aggressively competing for the one prize. Only one's going to win. Only one out of millions. Then he shared with us that those millions were sperm cells. Each one of us sitting in this room. At the moment of our conception, millions competed, each with their own unique potential. Each one, after the goal, only one was going to meet up with that open. That's each of you sitting in this room today. The success that you already are, just in that moment. Do you understand? Millions you beat out for the opportunity of the life that you're sitting here living in this very moment. You got the opportunity to custom create that, design it any way you want it to be. You can spend some time with this. My email's on the bottom if any of you want some support moving through that. If it's not something you've done before, not familiar in your mind. Or after you get to the end, it can be stunning if you really sit down with this. Places inside of you you might connect with, you might want to bounce that off somebody else. Give me a call or Facebook me. Any of you that are on my Facebook friends, Facebook me. That's the way to connect with me. And I would love to encourage you all to dare to get out there and connect in your authenticity, in your genuine, without agenda, without concern of earning the money. That's all going to take care of itself. And you make connections on the levels that I'm talking about, the opportunities, the blessings, honest goodness will pour in your door faster, especially the successful individuals, will pour in your door faster than you can keep up with. Money will take care of itself. I invite you to dare to connect, to dare to be doing it out, and from there we can all move forward together. See where that's going to take us.
Thank you so much. That was fabulous. Thank you so much for sharing that. That was really great. It's so interesting to me, the correlations and the connections that happen in life, both with, between us as people, individually, one-to-one, and also in the larger scheme of things. And I was reflecting on my own training and transition this year and how much what you said reinforced what I've just wrapped up. And I'm going to share something that my good friend David Lysenko from my classmates shared with us this weekend. And he wish you all could have been there when he told this very, very powerful story that I won't share at this moment, but I'll keep in mind for the future. He told a really powerful personal story that emphasized his idea of what a legacy is. And I think when we look at our purpose and our mission, it leads leads naturally to what legacy are we going to leave.
Absolutely.
And he gave us a great visual that I'm going to pass on to you guys. He said, my concept of legacy is leaving the biggest footprint I can. And isn't that a great idea to think about when you connect with your purpose, your passion, and you're clear about your mission, that ultimately you'll get to leave that big footprint for your children, for their children, for the world, for your community. So thank you so much for sharing that. We have amazing raffle prizes today, and I want to thank everybody. I'm not even sure who brought all of these. Some of them I know, some of them I don't. So if you will all get your raffle tickets out, this is something